Hello, I am Uncle Urdu. Let's explore the exciting story of Urdu language. We'll learn about its beginnings and how it evolved, and its significance in Indian culture. Come along and explore the development and evolution of Urdu over the years. Urdu has an extensive and fascinating history. उर्दू है जिसका नाम हम ही जानते हैं दाग, हिंदुस्तान में धूम हमारी ज़बां की है, said Dagh Dehelvi, the last of the classical poets. Before the 18th century, the language we know as Urdu went by various names, including Hindvi, Dehelvi, Dakkani, Gujri, Rekhta, and Hindustani. It was around the 1770s that Urdu embarked on its journey as Zaban-e-Urdu-e Mualla-e Shah Jahanabad, meaning the language of the exalted city of Shah Jahanabad, which is Delhi. Later, it came to be known as Zaban-e-Urdu and then finally Urdu. Urdu's roots can be traced back to the 11th century, a period of significant cultural and linguistic change in the Indian subcontinent. This is when the languages of the new ruling class, carrying influences from Persia, Turkey and Arabia, had started to merge with regional languages and dialects like Khadi Boli and Braj Bhasha. This merging process marked the beginning of Urdu's remarkable journey as a distinct and captivating language. Urdu started to take its roots around the 13th century when it was known as Hindvi or Dehelvi. Amir Khusro, the eminent poet, scholar and musician, was one of the early proponents of Urdu. Even though he didn't think much of his Hindvi work and most of his literary contributions were in Persian. Zahal miski makun taghaful दोराए नैना बनाए बत्तियाँ, किताब हिजरा नदार मैजा, न ले हो काहे लगाए चतियाँ. Sheikh Bahauddin Bajan, a 15th century poet, is considered one of the early pioneers of Urdu literature, with a significant body of work in Hindvi still extant today. Born in Ahmedabad, Sheikh Bahauddin Bajan, whose grandfather hailed from Delhi and had settled in Gujarat, used terms like Hindvi, Dehelvi and Hindvi interchangeably to refer to his language. By the 16th century, Hindvi had blossomed into a flourishing literary language, gaining prominence in the cultural hubs of Gujarat and Deccan. The Gujri variant of Hindvi reached its zenith under the patronage of Sheikh Muhammad Chishti, a prominent figure in the region. Sheikh Ahmad Gujarati, another renowned poet from Gujarat, was summoned by King Muhammad Quli Qutub Shah of Golconda to grace his royal court as a poet. Dakkani Sultans of Golconda and Bijapur became patrons of the language and themselves started writing in the version known as Dakkani. Quli Qutub Shah, the founder of Hyderabad, is considered to be the first prominent Dakkani poet, leaving behind a collection of over 50,000 couplets to his credit. Wali Dakkani, a towering figure in Urdu poetry, emerged around the 17th century and ushered in a new era of ghazal writing in a language more closely resembling modern Urdu. The prolific poet, also known as Wali Muhammad Wali, Wali Gujarati and Wali Aurangabadi, revolutionized Urdu poetry by demonstrating the language's potential for profound literary expression. The term Rekhta, meaning admixture of lime and mortar, used for building activity, aptly captures the fusion of Persian and Hindvi that characterized Wali Dakkani's poetry. The linguistic tapestry, where either Hindvi was grafted onto a Persian framework or vice versa, became known as Rekhta, a fitting moniker for Wali Dakkani's groundbreaking poetic style. याद करना हर घड़ी उस यार का, है वजीफा मुझ दिले बीमार का। क्या कहे तारीफ दिल है बेनज़ीर, हर्फ हर्फ उस मखज़ने इसरार का। ए वली होना सृजन पर निसार, मुद्दा है चश्मे गौहर बार का। The literary elite of Delhi, upon encountering Wali's groundbreaking work, finally recognized Rekhta's potential for profound literary expression. Urdu's ascent to prominence as the language of power commenced around the 1770s, coinciding with Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II's residence at the Red Fort in Delhi. While Persian retained its official status, Shah Alam II himself embraced Urdu for his prose writings. A new wave of Delhi poets embraced Rekhta and started to write in Rekhta. मीर तकी मीर। मीर को क्यों न मुख्तनिम जाने, अगले लोगों में एक रहा है ये। मिर्जा रफी सौदा। गिला लिखूं मैं अगर तेरी बेवफाई का, लहू में गर्क सफीना हो आशनाई का। ख्वाजा मीर दर्द। शबो रोज ए दर्द दर पे हूं उसके, किसू ने जिसे या न समझा न देखा। As the Mughal Empire's grip loosened in the 18th century, power shifted to the provinces, and Urdu, as it was now known, found fertile ground in the eastern province of Awadh. The Lucknow school of poets emerged, bringing Shaistagi, meaning elegance, and Nafasat, meaning refinement, to the language. The Lucknow school of poets' mastery of vocabulary, exploration of complex emotions, and keen social commentary left an indelible mark on generations of writers. The movement's impact on Urdu literature is comparable to the Renaissance's influence on European literature. With the rise of British Raj, Urdu or Hindustani, the widely spoken lingua franca of the subcontinent, became the bridge of communication between the new rulers and the local populace. The establishment of Fort William College in Calcutta in 1800, designed to train newly arrived British East India Company officials in Indian languages, served as a catalyst for Urdu's development as a literary language. Urdu experienced a resurgence under the patronage of Bahadur Shah Zafar, the last Mughal emperor, in his now symbolic court. Zafar, a poet himself, championed the finest Urdu poets, including Mirza Ghalib, Momin, and Zauq. By the mid-19th century in Delhi, Urdu poetry captivated not only the Mughal youth, but also the urban elite across communities, including the emerging white Mughals. The literary form itself diversified as poets like Nazir Akbar Abadi brought it back to themes resonating with the common people. कितना है बदनसीब ज़फ़र दफ़न के लिए, दो गज ज़मीन भी न मिली कुए यार में। ज़फ़र। पूछते हैं वो कि गालिब कौन है, कोई बतलाओ कि हम बतलाएं क्या। Ghalib. As the British Raj ushered in an era of modernity, Urdu embarked on a transformative journey, blossoming across the subcontinent from Lahore and Bombay to Bhopal and Hyderabad, nurtured by the enlightened minds of the educated elite and the patronage of princely states. Aligarh emerged as a beacon of intellectual vibrancy, where Sir Syed Ahmad Khan orchestrated a literary renaissance, bringing together a diverse cadre of writers who pioneered the art of modern Urdu prose, both fictional and non-fictional. Tehzeeb-ul-Ikhlaq, a brainchild of Sir Syed's visionary spirit, founded in 1871, became a platform for alternative perspectives, presented in a lucid and accessible style, enriching the discourse of Urdu literature. As the 20th century dawned, a wave of national consciousness swept across the subcontinent, and Urdu emerged as the language of dissent, giving voice to the aspirations of people yearning for freedom from foreign rule. Songs and slogans infused with revolutionary fervor ignited the spirit of resistance, appearing in Urdu newspapers and stirring the hearts of the masses. Maulana Azad, a beacon of intellectual and spiritual enlightenment, launched his journals Al-Hilal and Al-Bilagh in Calcutta, disseminating progressive ideas and fueling the movement for independence. Iqbal, the poet of the East, penned his early collection of poems Bang-e-Dira, a powerful testament to the yearning for freedom and the resilience of the human spirit. Bismil Azimabadi's Sarfaroshi Ki Tamanna became an anthem for revolutionaries, echoing through prison walls as they marched towards the cause with unwavering determination. Hasrat Mohani, a fiery poet and activist, gave birth to the immortal slogan Inqalab Zindabad, a rallying cry that encapsulated the collective desire for a new dawn, a nation free from shackles. Urdu literature boldly stepped into the modern era, with poetry finding its voice in the form of nazm and prose taking center stage with the rise of afsane, meaning short stories. Pioneers like Premchand, Saadat Hasan Manto, Krishan Chandar and Ismat Chughtai in prose, and Iqbal, Faiz, Firaq and Josh in poetry elevated Urdu to new heights of literary excellence. New artistic and literary movements emerged, including the Progressive Writers Association and Indian People's Theatre Associations with their Marxist leanings, and the modernist Halqa-e Arbab-e-Zauq, leaving an indelible mark on the language. These movements challenged traditional norms, explored social and political realities, and introduced new forms of expression, further enriching the tapestry of Urdu literature. The dawn of independence brought not only freedom but also a linguistic crossroads. The partition of the country fueled a fierce debate over the status of Hindi and Urdu, with fanatics on both sides claiming different origins for the languages. In India, Hindi emerged as the official language, while Urdu retained its status as one of the recognized official languages. Across the border in Pakistan, Urdu proudly became the national language. The post-partition era, though initially shrouded in gloom, opened up new avenues for Urdu's dissemination. Magazines, newspapers, cinema, radio and television emerged as powerful mediums, bringing the language to a wider audience. Bollywood, with its enchanting songs and witty dialogues, played a pivotal role in popularizing Urdu. The diaspora, scattered across the globe, carried the language to every corner of the world. Mushairas, traditional gatherings for poetry recitation, further expanded Urdu's reach, captivating new and larger audiences. However, the decline of formal Urdu education in many parts of India raised concerns about the language's future. The internet revolutionized access to Urdu, breaking down barriers for a new generation of enthusiasts, with readily available recordings of mushairas from around the globe and audio renditions of prose and poetry by masters like Zia Mohiuddin. On platforms like YouTube, the language became instantly accessible to eager audiences. The rise of mobile technology and consumer apps further transformed the landscape, providing not only access to Urdu content but also innovative tools for script comprehension and learning. This democratization of language learning has empowered individuals to decipher the script and engage with Urdu in unprecedented ways. In the age of memes and reels, Urdu's audience continues to expand and new technologies offer a beacon of hope for aspiring millions to unlock the treasures of this rich and expressive language.